North Central West Virginia basketball back. I was, Josh comes down from Western PA. I've been in this area covering basketball for almost 10 years now, a little less. This is how it's played here, and you guys have have run that system very well. And it's similar. We talk about going down south, different styles of play. This is how I've seen teams between you and the other two county schools,
Sean,
even up in Mon County.
And I've had MEC coaches pull me to the side, whether I'm at their team camp or I see them at a tournament somewhere, whether it's in season or out of season. I love how you play. We're gearing our program to play that style, or we're already playing there.
Yeah.
What's working well for you? And we're just having a little Q&A back and forth. So it's not just a high school playing this way. It's our Division II colleges in this state are starting to play this style.
Like the Jared Calhoun style.
Absolutely.
I used to love having a great year at Utah State, by the way.
I'm so happy for him.
Big win over Iowa.
And how about the girls coach, Wes Brooks? That is a Mike Carey assistant coach. He was a Nobo when Mike Carey was here. When I first got into coaching on the Tyrone staff, I was so blessed to have great people around me.
Yeah.
And the success that I had is because of my mentors. So Wes Brooks, a West Virginia guy, coaching Utah State's women, and Jared Calhoun coaching the men, they knocked it out of the park getting those two guys in that institution.
Coach, as far as you serving as the coach and the athletic director, does that give you any more visibility or a better read on these other opportunities you want to take when it comes to getting your team to some other places? Do you feel that helps? Do you feel that it helps even for some of the other programs? You having that sort of vision as a coach and the athletic director.
No, I really try to balance all 18 sports in this athletic program. Some may don't think otherwise, but I really try hard to make every program feel that their program is important. And anything that they ask, we try our best, whether it's administration or myself, to give them the tools for their program to be successful. So my goal is to leave everything I have out there on the floor, whether it's practice or a game, for my kids and my program and my parents. So they're working just as hard. No matter if I'm in the classroom teaching full-time, I'm running to events covering, whether it's fall, winter, or spring, coming back to my kids and giving them my energy. So I got to take care of myself, get my mind right, and be able to be ready for a practice or a game.
Do you think also being in the school, as a coach, also being in the school, does that help you communicate with the athletes, be with them, talk to them, see them?
Absolutely it does. Being in the school with your kids, seeing them every day, being able to be there if they need something, whether it's school-related or if it's just to be there if they need something, is crucial. We always talk about that as coaches. Being in the building for high school varsity coach I'm going to be honest with you, that number's trending downhill. There's a lot of assistant coaches anymore in high school sports. Those guys are sticking around that were around 15, 20 years. Those are few and far between anymore. Tyrone just retired, 21 years as head coach. I don't know if I'm going to be here for 21 years. Bill Malone before me, 37 years as head coach. You don't see that too much anymore. So, honored for those guys. Grateful to have them as my mentors. I hope I can give my staff and John Bowman, Angela DeLorenzo, Brad Helsel, and Ronnie Martin what they gave to me. Because one day when I'm gone, it's going to be their chance to have their own program. And you want your assistant coaches to be head coaches one day down the road. So I'm trying to groom them to be the best coach that they can be for their program when they take over.
And to your point there, we're going to get a chance to talk to Carter DeVault here in a little bit. What have you seen from him, his program as an assistant who's bumped up to a new spot?
So when I came on the Tyrone staff from the middle school to the high school, I believe Carter was a junior in the program. Hard-working kid, very skilled kid, very headsy player. Did anything that we asked for him to do in that era. This is his third year in our East Fairmont program, 2 as an assistant, first year as head. As we all know, he's lost a lot of experience. Graduating started the season with 10, graduated to 8 in the program, made the state semifinal. They're going to take some growing pains too, but I like this team. I think they're going to be competitive. I think some people have got the wool over their eyes, whether it's going to be a W on the schedule. Troy Coach Carter, Ron Jones, Gavin Estrino, they're working hard in practice, and they're ready for their Tuesday competition with North Marion. It'll be a good crowd, good rival game for both teams. I'm excited basketball season's here.
Me too. It's my favorite.
It's hard to believe it's already here, really. It's hard to believe that it seems like it came on us so quickly. I know you guys probably just concluded your fall sports. Fall sports are over. Now all of a sudden it's December. It just seems like a couple of weeks ago it was still September. Time flies. But this is a favorite season of many people.
Absolutely. They always say don't blink because it goes by quick. And when your kids are active as you are, my son's a senior this year. It feels like yesterday he was getting clapped in this gymnasium as a freshman. And here in about 6 months, he's going to be clapped out as a senior. And my daughter's going to come through. So there's one thing we'll never beat, and that's father time.
Right.
So I'm trying to enjoy every moment I can with my family, enjoy every moment with my coaches. And I love it here at East Fairmont. It's my alma mater. That's all I've ever known as blue and gold, and we're going to continue to strive to be the best that we can.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned that. Speaking of the blue and gold, we do have some clothing on sale here tonight. And I walked out and I smoked at the concession stand. I said, hey, do we need just cash for the clothing? Because I need to get myself some East Fairmont
some
stuff.
beat gear, absolutely.
East Fairmont stuff.
You can never have enough beat gear.
That's right. And I go out there. I said, hey, I'm going to come back and I want to pick some stuff up. I said, do we have to have cash? And they said, nope, you can hit us with Venmo. And I thought, boy, this is awesome. There are so many schools I go to where it's, still cash. The technology, even something as simple as Venmo, not quite embraced just yet. But I'm looking around here. You guys have a really strong presence online. You have a strong presence on social media. You have Venmo in the concession stand. You can't beat that. You've got to be really proud of everything that's going on here.
My right-hand man right beside you to your left is John Bowman. He played for me for freshman basketball. He's been with me 7th year, John, 8th year as my assistant. This East Fairmont Sports Network would not be possible without John Bowman behind the scenes. And our Board of Education has now posted that position. He's got the job as our live stream manager at East Fairmont. He does a phenomenal job getting this behind the scenes. That East Fairmont Sports Network, where we're able to broadcast that out there to grandma that can't make it, a relative that's out of county, out of state. It's taken off.
Yeah.
It's like gasoline on a fire for the sports network. I've seen other schools now mimic what we're doing, the YouTube, their events.
Yeah, they're trying to catch up, but I will say this for you. You have taken the next step. You have equipment here that I'm looking at. I'm familiar with some of this because I know colleges that use it, not high schools. I know colleges that use this equipment, and you have it right here at East Fairmont, and you run it well. He's done things already that I'm thinking to myself, boy, I sort of want to take him with me and have him train some of the other places I go. He's queuing up music and switching back and forth between commercials, and for some people, that is not as easy as he makes it look. So I have a feeling he's probably a real gift. Plus, he let me borrow his headset when we had some extra people over here. So he's also very polite.
Great guy, fantastic guy. We've got a lot of equipment. We put a lot of money from our sponsorship into this sports network. You're going to see some new features this year. I'll let John elaborate on that for the winter season of what you're going to see equipment-wise for us. Let's talk about our 2 student assistants you see over there at the baseline. We call him V. He's one of our student camera guys. Brain Tomlin's another one. These kids love the broadcasting with East Fairmont Sports Network, and we take care of them. They love traveling with us. They give you guys a view for your broadcasting, and hopefully we can get more manpower of kids.
Great experience.
Absolutely.
For a student to have this sort of background and be able to do this, especially if they see it as a career path, to be able to go to a college and say, hey, look, I'm already familiar with that 100 level class, even that 200 level class, because look, I've been doing this all this time in high school, behind the scenes, running the camera, running the equipment. I think it's awesome.
Good job. Absolutely. We're blessed. And there's some other projects that I have on the list. We need to bring this is 100 years here at East Fairmont High School. Over 100 years that we do not have an athletic hall of fame at this school. So that's probably the next thing that's on my list. The years that come is bringing Athletic Hall of Fame. I've pick the brain of University, Jeff Bailey, John Bowers at Morgantown, got their criteria. So there's some things that we're looking at. I got to put a committee together, but it's well overdue.
Yeah. The one at Morgantown, right in their little atrium there, right when you walk in, looks great. Nowadays, you have the option. You could do the plaque or even just a digital sort of deal. You have a lot of different things. You've got some names hanging in the gym here of some of the greats, and definitely recognizing and understanding history is a big part.
That's a big thing too, and then that's this whole banner project we completed a few years ago, color coded to match everything. It took some time to get into the archives of every sport to see when they were conference, sectional, regional champions, state champ winners. So recognize over here to your right, your all-state players, Mason Bailey, your Dutton Award, Blake Boyers, your 4-time state champion, plus your West Virginia Coach of the Year. There's a lot of history at East Fairmont High School. I mean, rightfully so, over 100 years of athletics. We have to recognize that. These kids, East Fairmont, this community is like West Virginia University is to the state of West Virginia. They like their sports. They love their school.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm just trying to do is help recognize past and present.
Most definitely helping to spread the Beast spirit to your whole community. Also helping to spread the Beast spirit is the cheerleading team that is out on the floor right now, coached by Karen Beckman. We'll run through their roster here in just a little bit. But, Coach, great talking to you.
Absolutely.
Always good talking ball.
Appreciate you, too. Appreciate what
Yeah,
you're doing
we're
for East
excited
Fairmont
about
athletics.
getting to see your team on the floor. I told some of your girls, hey, a week from tonight, we're right back here.
Absolutely. We are Wednesday here versus Grafton. We're leaving tomorrow at noon, head down to Mingo Central. I'm excited for this
What a cool
weekend.
facility there. The coolest football facility I've ever been to.
I have never been there, Sean, but looking on film, man, they got some top-line facilities.
Top line facilities. It's a new school. You're going to think you're lost for the final half hour because you're just going straight up and down hills. And it looks like it got mined yesterday. It is the football facility was absolutely incredible. I went there for a quarterfinal football game a few years back when the Polar Bears were down there, and it's a really cool place. So enjoy that ride because you're not on highway very long. Once you get south of Charleston, you get into Boone County. Your back roads all the way through.
And good luck, Coach. We hope that you're going to be able to bring home a couple of wins. I know your girls are very excited about it. And what a great way to start the season. Two good contests on the road.
Absolutely. And then competition is going to be there with Mingo Central's senior point guard and Addie Smith. That girl's going to play somewhere next year. I don't know where she's going to sign with, but she's going to find a home somewhere. And then you go to Wayne. They got three dominant players in the Atkins twins. One's going to Youngstown State. The Salmons girl, the point guard, the sophomore, she will find a home somewhere here in the next few years. So competition likes competition. I'll say it again.
Absolutely. We look forward to it, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Before we step aside, I want to shout out a few more of our winners. Kaylee Heyman, 22 out of 25 in the free throw competition. Shane Efall winning for the freshman boys with 19. You saw our East Fairmont cheerleaders out there. Let's shout them out real quick. Seniors Hope Lemley and Brooklyn Mayer. Juniors Kelsey Shearer, Macy Karekas, Tiana Harley, Brooklyn Haddix, and Misha Garrison. Sophomores Arby Swihart, Isabel Mancino, Kyra Hamilton, Layla Smith, and then freshmen Olivia Boggs and Reese Van Zant. We got the rest of our teams going to get announced here in a little bit. We will step aside and be back after this. You're watching Midnight Madness on the East Fairmont Sports Network.
Contracting. North Central West Virginia's general contractor, focused on the areas of additions, finished carpentry, electrical, kitchen and bath, decks, garages, and more, serving Marion and the surrounding counties. To schedule an estimate, call Ron at 304-534-2473. Viking Contracting, a veteran-owned and operated business. and Gold Graphics in Morgantown, West Virginia is your one stop for all of your local high school and middle school needs. From shirts and jackets to hats and blankets and so much more, Blue and Gold Graphics has you covered.
State University is a great place. It's a great place to learn. Not too big, not too small. Award-winning programs, professors who really care. Fairmont State University, a great place to soar. Learn more at fairmontstate.edu.
All right, so we're going to have the inter-squad scrimmage here with the middle school JV boys. To quickly read off that roster, we have Fox Adair, Nikki Playo, Braxton Fry, Colin Roberts, Tristan Collins, Peyton Price, Landon DeWitt, Zachariah Hardesty, Colton Stump, and Aiden Barker for the middle school JV boys team.
Penny B.
Back here at East Fairmont High School, East Fairmont Sports Network, we got some inter-squad scrimmages going on, about 5 minutes apiece, and we've got our middle school JV coaches, Coach Tony, Coach Derek, with the 7th and 8th grade. Guys, thanks for joining us in here tonight. Who do we have on the floor? What are we looking at here?
So right now you've got the white versus the blue inter-squad scrimmage for the 7th. This is our JV squad.
Okay.
Yep. So on that blue squad, you got Fry and DeWitt right there rolling the ball up. So Fry's post over there, over to Playo. And he just got blocked by Fox Adair.
All right. Do you feel like the guys in the long sleeve shirts maybe a little disadvantage here?
No. A kid right there dribbling the ball. We scrimmaged Saturday against Bennington. He had 30.
Oh, wow. I can see why.
Right? So, yeah, I think it's pretty evenly matched, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coaching this team, what are some of the fundamentals? What are some of the things you try and get across to these guys at this age?
So at this age right here, it is all about fundamentals and being good humans, from my opinion, right? Try to make them men so they can be productive in their community, be a squad right here,
Sure.
be connected together. I think that's the biggest thing we're looking for right here.
As you look up at some of the coaches, Coach DeVault, and, we spoke earlier to Coach Jones, how much of what they're doing at the varsity and freshman level do you try and implement, or are you strictly right now just, dribbling, keeping the elbow in when you shoot, offhand, that kind of stuff?
So we're a lot of fundamentals, but I'll be honest with you, when we had our tryouts, high school coaches were there. It's the first time I'd ever saw that before. That was wonderful. To have them down there looking, telling us what they're doing, being involved, that was big. Yeah, just to have them involved and being part of us.
As you look at the community of East Fairmont basketball, we talked to Coach Beckman earlier. A lot of excitement. The people on this side of the river, they love their basketball. They love their sports. What's the enthusiasm level from your parents and your community over there?
I think it's pretty high. I think Coach Howler will tell you the same thing when you talked about the 8th grade. But I think it's pretty high just because I feel like we've got really good kids, great parents that have bought into the system and just being a part of everything we're doing.
How big of the whole process is that parental buy-in, especially with this age group?
Yeah, so if you don't have parents buying in, you don't have anything, right? So they have to be able to be at practice and get all their needs met and splash again, right?
Yeah, no kidding. That was pure. That didn't even touch the rim. Wow.
Yeah, no. He's legit.
Yeah, where's Carter? Let's get him a big uniform.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good look there. What's that young man's name?
So that's going to be Landon DeWitt.
Landon DeWitt. DeWitt's a common name around this
It
area.
is, yeah. So his older brother, and then he's got a middle brother that plays on Coach Howler's team too. So, yeah, building up through the process right there.
Excellent. What are your expectations for the year? What's the schedule look like? When do we get going?
So the schedule's always brutal. Play Morgantown teams, being in this conference and everything. It's only going to make them a little bit better, though.
Is it the Mason-Dixon at that level? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So when do we get going?
We start off next Tuesday against WI. So they're in our conference with the Big Ten. And then, we'll go full go with that. And then we throw in, like I said, Morgantown teams just to try to get us better. Because we know in high school they're going to play those teams anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, we're just trying to get them good competition, let them understand where they can improve at, the things that they could do better to strengthen them for next year when they move into 8th grade. And then the same thing with Coach Howler. He's just going to get them ready for that freshman level and just keep moving them up.
Excellent. All right, so we talked about young Mr. DeWitt here. Who else are we excited about this year?
Oh, man, I'll be honest with you. You always hear it's a cliche, but I'm excited about all of them because it's such a good group of kids. We've got 2 leaders that played for me last year as 6th graders. Fox Adair, who just shot and made that layup. Nikki Playo is on there, too. Those were good leaders as they were 6th graders. Now, one of my other 6th graders that got moved up to the varsity was his son, Nicky Howler. Really good player, but he's playing varsity, moved up. Great point guard. So, a great group of kids right here.
Excellent. As we wrap up this inter-squad scrimmage, I want to thank you for taking some time, joining us, and letting our viewers know what they're watching and who we got out here.
Yes, sir.
Sign them up. All right, we'll take a quick break and be back and talk some more during our next scrimmage.
All right.
Stick it here.
All right, next up we have the middle school JV girls team scrimmaging here. So give you a quick rundown of the roster here. Number 1, Gabby Reinhardt. She is in 6th grade. Number 3, Mila Clutter, an 8th grader. Number 5, Skyly Fike, 6th grader. Number 10, 8th grader, Taryn Board. Number 12, 7th grader, Paisley Clutter. Number 13, Sloan Nichols, 8th grader. 6th grader, Naylee Runyon, number 23. Number 30, Elena Murphy, also a 6th grader. Number 31, Cassidy Knox, who is in 6th grade. Number 32, May Dusenberry is a 6th grader. Number 34, Amelia Saunders, also in 6th grade. Number 35, Charlotte Holcraft, 6th grader. And number 45, Emma Andrick, an 8th grader.
Thank you for that, Brad. We're joined by JV Middle School girls coach Kayla Leap. Thank you for joining us in here today. How are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
Good. So tell us about the squad you have out here. Brad went through the roster, but what kind of young ladies do we have out there?
Well, we kept a lot of our 6th graders this year. So we've got a lot of 6th graders. We've had a new person try out this year. So Miss Emma, she's doing really well. We do have some girls playing both for us right now, and I think they're going to be a big help. But our 6th graders and our incoming 7th graders, they are very willing to work, and they have a lot of potential. So I think that we're going to have a pretty decent season.
Excellent. What kind of things do you work with on girls this age? What are some of the fundamental things that they need to learn at this age that you really focus on?
Well, we work a lot on our form. Our form shooting is a big thing. We also work on a lot of defensive skills. We want to be very good at defense before we're very good at offense. So we work a lot on emphasizing we don't shuffle. It's small, short, choppy steps when we slide, trying to get quicker. We try to implement a lot of conditioning in practice because I think that the girls need to definitely work on quickness. Ball handling is a very big thing at this age.
Definitely.
They needed some pretty large work with ball handling, but I think we're getting there, and just protecting the ball, those types of things. So,
as we see a lot of subs come in at this age group, how important is it for everyone to get a chance to play, kind of see what you have as you're still developing players? Is going out and winning the game most important, or is it more about the development aspect of it?
Well, development is a very big thing, and it's also really hard having the 6th graders come up from EAA. Basketball needs to be fun. Mm-hmm. So it is important for all of the girls to definitely see this playing time, because if they don't get the playing time, then they're going to be scared when they get to the upper levels. So we do have, oh my goodness, do you hear her screaming out there? I can't help it. But see, it has to be fun. They have to giggle. They have to laugh.
How do you go about making basketball fun for kids this age?
We try to do a lot of team bonding stuff, and at the end of every practice, I try to make it a goal to do like a shooting game or something where it incorporates all of them cheering on your team, those types of things, trying to get to know the girls one-on-one, given that I don't know them outside of basketball. So trying to just get them to have a reputation with me. Oh, my goodness.
How long have you been coaching for? Obviously,
this is my first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
During my time at the newspaper, obviously I watched you play. How did playing for Coach Beckman, not that long ago? How has that prepared you for this first step?
Playing for Beck definitely helped me a lot, and obviously my dad, he was the basketball coach along Tyrone Estrino for many, many years. So basketball's kind of always been a thing for us, and I'm staying local. So I mean, why not? I wish that when I was in 6th, 7th grade, I had somebody down there that was helping me get to where Beck needs his girls to be. So I think it's a great thing to have older players go down and, implement at a very basic level what they're doing.
Do you adapt any of Coach Beckman's style into your coaching? Do you yell horns really aggressively at the beginning of an offensive set or
horns,
anything like that?
Primary, yes.
Okay. Yep. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We got about 30 seconds left here.
Yeah.
It's been great. What are your expectations for this year? What do you want to say?
Well, I just hope that everybody comes out and they have fun and that they enjoy basketball, because that's the most important thing, is keeping the girls on the court.
Excellent. All right. Well, we will sign off. Josh will be back with the next game with the varsity, although we might have varsity boys next. We'll see what the schedule is. So we'll step aside and be back here in just a moment.
Penny B.
East Fairmont Middle School boys varsity inter-squad scrimmage, and we're joined by Coach Hauer now. Nice to talk to you. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
And tell us about the squad and some of the guys we got out here.
So we're fortunate because we've got some guys that have played together for a long time. So we're actually kind of old. We've got all 8th graders except for one, and these guys have been playing together since they were little kids. So there's a ton of chemistry already kind of pre-built. So it actually kind of makes my job easy this year, which is really nice.
What kind of things are you, I've asked both our other coaches we've spoken to from this middle school level, what are the kind of things you work on here? Obviously coming up, it probably starts with ball handling, defensive slides, things of that nature. How has your teaching progressed as you get to the 8th grade?
Yeah, so we're less fundamentals, like at the basic level, and more about how does that work in a game. For us, IQ is really, really important, right? Understanding situational things. We're trying to kind of phase in some of the high school level things. That way we have some parity, and so we're trying to take what they're doing at the high school level and starting to at least, indoctrinate that into the kids, so that way when they get to be freshmen next year, they won't see it for the first time.
You had a great baseline out of bounds set right there, knocked down by number 3, drained it there. So nice set there. When you're going through and putting in offensive sets, how complicated do you get at the 8th grade? Are you out there running Princeton sets? Are you running horns, high ball screen? How complicated do you get at this level?
So with this group, we decided to really lean into dribble drive stuff this year. Fortunately, it's actually what the high school's running too, so we're running a flavor of what they're doing. So we try to work on principles, less about play. So that when we come out, we are just playing. We'll run a couple sets if we have to. But really, this group, super athletic, a lot of them. So number 3 is Nicholas. He's my son. A lot of good shooters on this team. We got Maddox Kisner. He shoots lights out. So we really try to stretch the floor. A lot of these guys can take guys off the dribble, so we really try to use all of the strengths, and that's kind of how we built the offense.
Talk about IQ being very important. How do you teach IQ to kids this age?
A lot of it is whiteboard. So I'm a big proponent of whiteboard stuff, of drawing stuff out, explain it to them, then we go rep it, and then stopping it, say, hey, what'd you see? What'd the defense do? Why'd we make that decision? Just really starting to get to where it's just muscle memory. So when we get into game situations, we just do it, right? We don't even know we're doing it.
As far as other basketball that you advise them to watch, obviously what Coach DeVault does, you want them to be familiar with East Fairmont top to bottom. Is there any other coaches, teams, basketball type of stuff that you like to tell your guys to check out?
Yeah, so, because we do dribble drive, we really try to look at, like Memphis has done.
Okay.
A lot of the UConn stuff right now with a lot of the stagger screens and just really understanding spacing and curling and all the extra stuff other than just knocking down threes. Right, I think that's for me. That's the biggest thing is trying to make that extra pass like that. I mean, great extra pass.
It was a good look.
So we can find guys open and make easy shots instead of having to rely on the tough ones.
Is that difficult for you, coaching kids this age? They're probably, I remember for me, I started to really get into basketball 5th or 6th grade, where I started not only to watch it but to understand, to emulate, and things like that. So for me, it would have been like, Latrell Sprewell would have been my guy back then, something like that. Nowadays, everyone wants to be Steph Curry. You got 7'3" guys out there shooting threes. That's what they do. For you to teach them to make the extra pass when they can't turn on TV and really see anyone do that, do you find that to be a challenge?
Yes and no. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be Steph Curry, and unfortunately, that's like not everybody's that guy. And so for me, it is really just trying to say, hey, like what other teams are out there? A lot of college stuff. I said I actually encourage don't really lean into NBA too much because it's like we'll never.
It's a different game.
Yeah. So other high schools at the level. I mean, we try to do some stuff with this high school here of just like really trying to get a good chance to see good basketball, right? Good ball movement, good extra pass. I think that helps. We're fortunate too. Fairmont State has invited us to be kind of leaning into their program a little bit too. So getting to see some stuff with those guys and kind of how they operate and just good basketball all the way around.
Yeah, Coach Koenig has a great program going on over there. Hey, all right, for you, how long have you been coaching? Well, how long have you been into this?
So this is actually my first year at the middle school level. I've coached on and off forever. We had a long-term coach here at the middle school. Chris Brown decided he'd had enough and decided to hang it up. And I helped him out last year, and it was just kind of a natural progression.
Excellent. What are the expectations for this year's squad as we count down the final 20 seconds?
I think we're actually going to be pretty good this year. I don't want to set real high expectations, but, again, these guys have played together for so long, and they've been pretty successful. I look for us to have a really solid year this year.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us. It's been great. And, Josh will be up here with the girls' middle school game next, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Midnight Madness here at East Fairmont High School as we prepare to kick off our basketball seasons both at the middle school and at the high school level. I am joined now by the head coach of our middle school team, Tabby Shoup. Coach Shoup.
Hello.
What are you looking forward to about this season?
We have a good group of girls and a lot of potential. We have a big 8th grade class. We have 10 8th graders. So some of those, one is a new player, but she has developed pretty good. So they've been playing together for a while, and they mesh really well with the 7th graders. So it's going to be interesting to see how it comes together. But looking for a good season. There's a lot of talent and potential. So.
And how many seasons have you coached the team for?
This is my first as head coach. I was assistant for the last 2 years. I helped Rich with the varsity last year, and the year before I was assistant JV coach.
So you've had an opportunity now to see a couple of the players, at least maybe even several of them from the middle school team, transition into some meaningful roles on the high school team.
Yes, and it's awesome to watch some of that because you had a part in it. Obviously, it's their hard work that gets them there, but it's pretty neat to witness them go from middle school and high school and be successful in both.
Who are some of the opponents on your schedule that you feel your players are most excited to face each season?
This year, honestly, it's West. We haven't been able to play West for the last couple years. We weren't able to get them on the schedule. So they're pretty excited to be able to play them again. We have a really tough opponent in our first game on Monday with Mountaineer Middle in Morgantown. They're a really good team, really big. So they're pretty excited to get another stab at them to see, where we measure up. We played them in summer, and it was wasn't our best game, so they're looking forward to some redemption and some improvement on that.
And your team has an opportunity to play through the summer?
Yes, we do off-season stuff, and we did fall leagues here and at 5th Street on the west side. So we got a lot of reps in with about 7 girls we had, pretty regularly that came and showed up. And it shows that they've, again, they've been playing together, and you can see them kind of mesh together. So it's exciting. It should be a good season for us.
So as far as your schedule is concerned, does your season sort of run concurrent with the high school season? You said you're starting on Monday. Will you find yourself playing into February?
Yes. Our last actual game, I think, is February 10th, but then we have tournament play, I believe, the last week of February, and it's usually Lincoln or whatever. So we get the opportunity now to have a tournament as well, and we have actually won that tournament the last 2 seasons. So we're looking for a three-peat this year.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they've got some work to do to get there, but that's a goal we've set for ourselves, is to get back to that championship game and win it again.
Do you find at this age level that you have any long trips you have to make? Do you guys really hit the road at any point?
We don't make real long trips. This season, I actually set up a scrimmage in New Martinsville just because I wanted them to make the trip and play somebody that we've never played before. And I'm currently trying to work on getting Tyler consolidated on our schedule. So that's a pretty long trip. That's actually where I went to school, so I thought it would be cool for, to go back and coach where I played. But our longest trip is actually probably Elkins right now, so not too many that are real far away.
And have you had a chance to play any of those scrimmages yet? Is Monday going to be your first?
Monday is actually our first regular season game. We played New Martinsville a couple weeks ago, and it was good. We won most of the quarters, saw a lot of things we needed to work on, but gave us a good starting point. And we did. We worked on a lot of things, And it's hard because you start practice beginning in November, and then we don't have a game till December 9th, so you're scrimmaging against each other the whole time. So it's kind of hard to judge where you're at because they know the plays you're running, and you can't get a judge on how well you're doing, either the defense or the offense.
So when you finally get to play somebody new, you get to see exactly where some faults might be that aren't otherwise exposed in practice.
And hopefully we find the benefit more than the faults, but you do have that. So we're excited to get started in games so we can see where we're at. I think they're in a pretty good place right now. They work hard. They're a good group of girls, a lot of personality, a lot of emotions. We got a lot of girls that care a lot, and it's all over their face, and it's hard to keep them down and realize, hey, mistakes happen. You just got to forget and go. So if we can do that, we'll be successful this season.
How do you feel the girls on your team appreciate what the high school team has been able to do recently with their success? Does that build some excitement even at this level?
Yeah, I think it does, and we do a good job with Coach Beckman getting both teams involved together. I encourage the middle school to watch the high school. We encourage the high school to come watch the middle school. Last year we did this, and we did a movie night. We usually do a WVU game together, so we try to get them together as much as we can, just because there's a lot of the middle school girls that look up to the high school girls and know that, hey, that could be me out there one day. So it's pretty exciting for them to get to do things like this. And they have, like my daughter, she has an older sister on there, so she gets to go to the games and things. But they appreciate the success, and they look forward to hopefully being in that same position one day.
And this event itself is relatively new. My understanding is this is the second year for this?
Yes, I believe so. Last year it was just the girls here that did it together, and then this year we put them all together. So, yeah, it's new, but it's pretty exciting because they get to intermingle with each other and see different things.
So it's a nice opportunity for the community to be able to come out too.
Yes.
Obviously, this is open to the public. They get to see a little bit of everybody, all the different grade levels coming together, and an opportunity to show off some talent too, because a couple of these scrimmages have actually been pretty tight.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's great because the problem with the middle school boys and girls, they play the same day. One plays home and one plays away, so they don't ever get to see each other play very often. So this is their first chance to see them too, other than practice, which is some of the parents. They don't get to go to the girls' games if they want because their son's playing away. So it's an opportunity to see both teams and just kind of see what we have.
I know you had mentioned that you've got West back on the schedule this year. Aside from them, is there anybody that you see as a natural sort of rival for your team?
Taylor County would be the first that comes to mind. The last few seasons, those games have been intense. It's just one of any team that you play in a championship or to get to a championship is always, you hold something to them. So I think they're looking forward to that as well. Lincoln's usually a pretty fun game. Bridgeport usually gives us a good game. So, but Taylor County is probably the next rival that I would say after West.
Do you feel like you have to negotiate too many weather concerns throughout the season? I know the high school team often plays in the evening, and with varsity sports, they tend to want to stick those and not move them for the middle school level. Do you see yourself have to negotiate the weather?
I hope the weather cooperates for us most times because we really don't have a whole lot of space to negotiate with our schedule. Once we start, we have 3 to 4 games a week usually.
Wow.
So it's going to be kind of tight to make up games. So hopefully Mother Nature kind of bears with us and lets us get our games done and snows on the days we don't play.
Well, I hope so too, Coach. Hey, thank you for taking a couple minutes
thanks for having me.
and joining us. I really appreciate that. And good luck this season. I know your team's going to do great, and I hope everything works out well for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too.
All right, we now have the boys freshman team scrimmaging. So we'll read off their roster real quick. We have Jackson Heskett, Grady Layton, Adam Morris, Shane Efaw, Landon Dudash, Simon Scanlon, Maddox Dotson, James Terlosky, Sam Halflin, and Ian Lee. So the freshman team coached by head coach Ron Jones, who we spoke to earlier on the broadcast. He said this is actually the best group he's had in terms of listening and actually receiving coaching, applying that stuff out on the floor. So a pretty smart group, a group that's open to coaching as they try to increase their basketball knowledge and their basketball skills. And there's a throwaway against the double team. There's Heskett with the breakaway layup. Heskett coming off a very good freshman season in football this year. Made a big impact for Coach Shane Eckel and the Bees, especially defensively wise. So a bright future for him on the gridiron for sure. And we'll see what he can do for the boys this year in basketball. Are we playing a zone right now in an inter-squad scrimmage? That's why it seems like we're playing a zone, but I don't know. Maybe they might not know what they're playing. So. And we have a foul call. Thank you to River McLean for getting us that foul call. Larry Nichols as well, officiating this game. And we also have Logan Beckman as the third referee tonight. Hey, there's an AM1. I think that was, is that Grady? Grady Layton with the AM1 there for the blue team. the Navy squad. So the freshman boys' first game will be December 12th against University. Had played University a couple times last year, so be sure to come out and see the freshman boys when you can, whether it be a triple header or sometimes they'll go on the road, play solo. Coach Jones always has them out playing, that's for sure. They try to get as many games as possible to get these kids opportunities to develop and get better so they can contribute to the varsity squad. Not an easy job coaching the freshman team. I mean, there's a lot of roster changes with kids getting pulled up mid-season and stuff, so Coach Jones does a good job managing all that, kind of going with the flow and helping out the varsity program in any way that they need. Look at this. We're playing a matchup zone here in a scrimmage. Always an opportunity to work on your defense, I guess. That was a backcourt.
I think Rivers calling that. We're going to be back with somebody.
All right, we'll be back. I think the JV boys will be playing next, so stay with us here on EFSN.
Welcome back to East Fairmont High School. Joshua Scully with you now, and we've got Kaylee Heyman here, one of our junior players on our girls basketball team. Kaylee, of course, had a great season last year, really exciting shooter. And in case anybody forgot that, in the foul shot contest tonight, you made 22 of 25 foul shots. Is that correct?
Yep.
That is incredible. That is incredible. There are professional basketball players who do not get anywhere near that number. That has to make you feel really good.
I guess.
So this season, which is underway tomorrow, you're at Mingo Central tomorrow, you're at Wayne Saturday. It's hard to believe it's already basketball season again. You're one of a handful of juniors on this team that has just one senior. How does that make you feel as far as your role on the team is concerned?
This year, us, just like our juniors, have to step up more because last year we had 6 seniors, so they were like who we went to if we needed help. But now we only have one, so not everyone can go to that one senior. So we have to know what we're doing, and we have to know what to do and help out the younger girls. I think we'll be fine though.
You did get a lot of play time. Several of you who are juniors now did get a lot of play time as sophomores, which I'm sure has to help, has to build some confidence.
Yes, for sure, because we know the fast-paced game, and we won't have to get used to it.
So as we look at your schedule this season, first home game is a week from tonight, as hard as that is to believe, against Grafton. You play through the end of February at least.
Yeah.
What opponents on this schedule really stand out to you as someone that you're looking forward to playing?
I'd say Grafton and Wayne, and then Lewis, obviously. Grafton has a lot of good players. And I know they'll be tough, especially because we don't have one of our juniors, Brooklyn Shoup, with us. But I think we'll be fine.
How about as far as that rematch against Lewis County goes? You mentioned that one, January 24th, Friday, right here at East Fairmont, 7:30 tip. You've got to want some revenge there, right? That feeling, even though it's been almost a year, it just does not really ever fade.
Yeah, no. We have to be ready to play that day, for sure.
How about as far as your career goes after high school? You still have 1 year of high school left. Obviously, next year is a big year. It's going to be your senior year.
Yeah.
Have you given any thought to what your plans are after high school?
Not really. Not enough. I should probably get on that, but I haven't.
Well, you have plenty of time. You
Yeah.
still have plenty of time. There's absolutely no worry about that. But you've obviously got a lot of talent. The shooting speaks for itself. Maybe some basketball post-high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hopefully, we can get there.
Well, Kaylee, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck to you moving forward. And do you have any final thoughts on the season?
No, I'm ready to play.
Well, good luck, and
Been
we're going to
ready.
look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we have the JV boys followed by the varsity boys scrimmaging. So to announce the entire boys roster, we have Rowan Kramer, Preston Plum, Cole Van Gilder, River McLean, Tony Comas, Bo Bombard, Logan Beckman, Jonah Henderson, Austin Taylor, Hayden Dudash, Carson Church, Jason Beckley, Grayson Childs, Riker Jordan, Christian Beckley, Caden Barr, Jackson Heskett, Dominic Ronhart, Will Hawkins, Blake Holler, Larry Nichols, Cameron Burnett, Jackson Conaway, and Jaden Dawson.
Welcome back to East Fairmont High School. We've got another interview lined up for you. We have a double interview, if you will. Two girls basketball players here from East Fairmont High School, two of our Lady Bees. We've got number 15, the 5'7 junior, Kaya Stump, and number 20, the 5'10 junior, Brooklyn Shoup. Brooklyn, you are the tallest player on the team by 3 inches, which is pretty impressive. She is listed at 5'10. And Kaya, I suppose that makes you tied for second because there's no one else on the team listed at higher than 5'7".
What can I say?
So as far as the season goes, and I've talked to several of your teammates over the course of the evening, we've interviewed several of them. You have just the one senior, which obviously really increases the importance of the nice group of juniors you have. Next season, all of those juniors will be seniors. How does that make you feel as far as that group as a whole is concerned?
Sad that it's ending. We've played together, our group have played together ever since we were in 4th grade. We came up together, and it's just, we've grown so close over the years, and it's just sad to leave such a special team but move on to such good things in the future, whatever that may be.
And you will have a nice group as far as the number of seniors next year. You essentially have an entire starting lineup plus. I know you lost a lot of seniors from last season. How do you feel about the team going into this season? You've got a lot of youth, some sophomores and freshmen who probably will see some meaningful time.
I feel like we're young, but last year we had a really deep bench. So a lot of those young players got in the game. They have the varsity experience that we need. I feel like we did lose a lot of minutes, but we have a lot of players that have the potential to come fill those minutes. So I really think like this season we're still making it back to Charleston. We're still going to be successful.
I like that one of your teammates said earlier something to the effect, this is not a direct quote, this is a paraphrase, but very close to this. One of your teammates said, oh, we know the way to Charleston because you are familiar with that trip. You know what it takes to get there, which I think is really important. You've been there already. Obviously, last season you were so very good. The games I had an opportunity to cover for you, they were usually not close because you typically put the team away in the first half. And as I shared with some of your teammates too, you had such a wonderful knack for splash plays. Whenever anyone was able to close the gap, someone was always able to jump up with a big rebound. Often you, Brooklyn, and when I first came down here to East Fairmont, you were one of the first players that anyone spoke to me about. I came here, I knew who no one on the roster was. I had a list of names. I sat down. I asked someone for some help. I just wanted to make sure I was saying everyone's last name right. And I wanted to make sure I had your last name right, Shoop. And I asked someone at the table, and they said, yes, you will want to know how to say that because you will be saying it a lot. And I thought, well, what a great compliment for someone to go out, and you would have been just a sophomore coming out last season, and to know that you're a meaningful piece already. Now that you're both juniors, you know that senior year coming up, which is really just around the corner, you know how quickly time goes. You two are both going to be a big part of that. As far as this schedule goes, you got Grafton at home a week from tonight. Is there anyone else on this schedule that really stands out to you as someone that you're looking forward to playing?
I think definitely our first two games, Mingo Central and Wayne, but especially Wayne because for the past couple years, we've been competing for that top spot. So I think we're really excited to go down there, finally get to play them because we've never gotten to play them before. And I think we're just excited to see what happens.
And that's a nice long bus ride, too. How do you feel about the long bus ride? Is it,
I mean,
if you had to rate it out of 5 stars, is it 1 out of 5 stars, do not recommend, 5 out of 5 stars, would buy again?
Probably 1 out of 5 stars, but
it's fun to go down there with the girls, but the bus is just so uncomfortable to sit on. It's just
because I'm assuming you are taking, even though this is a long trip, I'm assuming you're taking a school bus.
Right.
So I think probably anyone who's listening right now can agree, long trips on a school bus, not necessarily everyone's cup of tea.
They are very uncomfortable.
But you do have the trip tomorrow, south of Charleston. You play Wayne on Saturday. You're back home for Grafton. You also get to play Lewis County later in the season at home. That's a January 24th Friday night game, 7:30. You've got a couple of close schools, Robert C. Byrd, Fairmont Senior. You're going to get to play them at home, which has to be exciting. And I know this gym really comes to life when you get a good quality opponent in here or someone who's geographically close. That has to make you feel pretty good.
It does. Yeah.
It's nice to see the crowd in blue and gold and see how big our program and how big these girls have pulled together and just see how we've grown over the years. It's nice.
It's nice to see girls basketball getting support.
Yes.
That's really big.
Absolutely. And there was no pun intended. I know you're the Lady Bees, but there was a lot of buzz about your team last year, even outside of this area. People knew who you were. They knew that you really brought a quick, fast-paced game, and you forced your opponents to play that way, and you could see so many of them just did not want to play that fast, full-pressure game, and that's often what time gave you the big leads right out of the gate, and I know both of you were part of that. Kaya, how about for you? You have a whole senior year yet to go, so plenty of time to think about this, but where do you see yourself after high school? Do you have plans for basketball? Do you have plans to continue your education, or are you still thinking about it?
Well, I also play volleyball for the school, and I've always wanted to pursue that further. So that's an option. I want to get my teaching degree. So it's so close but so far. So I've thought about it, but nothing's too in-depth. But I'm not excited to leave these girls in basketball, but I'm excited to go on to the next chapter in my life and just see where I end up. And it's terrifying, but it's exciting at the same time. And yeah.
Well, that brings to mind two follow-up questions I want to ask you. The first one is, what position do you play volleyball?
I'm a setter, but I led the team last year in aces, and then I led them in kills and assists. So I pretty much just play all around.
And if you're going to pursue that teaching degree, do you see yourself coming back here to teach at East Fairmont? Would this be maybe your first choice, or would you rather pursue elsewhere?
It could be. East Fairmont's a great school. Whatever gets me the job, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, East Fairmont would be great to come back and just see all the teachers, and it's a great school. So yeah, definitely an option.
And that's awesome. And that's exciting, too, about your volleyball prospects. I'm sure your team, which has a lot of athleticism, probably has multiple multi-sport athletes, if I had to guess.
Definitely. I think we all are multi-sport. We play A lot of girls play soccer. A lot of girls run track. And it's just, we all like to get out there and play sports.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. Brooklyn, how about for you? Post-high school, as far as furthering your education, maybe continuing to play basketball. And I had a chance just a few minutes ago to interview your mother. She was right here. And I know she must be incredibly proud of you and also a little curious about what you're thinking post-high school.
I want to play soccer in college. I want to get my degree in sports psychology. I don't really know where I'm looking at yet, but I just know that I definitely want to keep playing soccer. Basketball is not necessarily out of the cards either. Like, if I could go for both, then...
And you're fortunate, both of you are, really your entire team, is that you live in an area where there are several college options for you that are close. You don't have to go far if you don't want to, right here in north central West Virginia. And even really in south central West Virginia as well, you've got a lot of options for college after high school. Do you have any final thoughts on this season?
Just definitely excited to see what we're going to do with it. I have all the confidence in the world in these girls. Yeah, just excited to see where we go.
I'm excited to see the growth that we have. We're so young, and half these girls haven't even played in a varsity quarter. So I'm excited to see how much we grow, because I know we're gonna make it to Charleston, and we're gonna grow so much in these next couple of months.
Well, I really appreciate you both joining us, Brooklyn. Kaya, good luck, not just in this season, but obviously in all of your athletic pursuits, on the soccer field, on the volleyball court. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Back here at the Hive, East Fairmont High School, Midnight Madness, and the boys varsity team is out on the court scrimmaging, pulling logo threes, and we're joined here by Coach Carter Duvall. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. And,
absolutely.
You know, new into your role, not new into the program. What is your early thoughts here?
We're young and inexperienced. That showed in the scrimmages, but that's why we do scrimmages. But we got talent. It's just young talent, inexperienced talent. So it's going to take some time. I think if the kids buy in, though, that's what we had a lot of talks about. They gotta know that, find their roles, and it's tough right now because it's a brand new group of kids that don't have a lot of experience together. We got a lot of young kids, a few old kids. So finding our roles within the group is going to be key for us. And then just playing as a group defensively, we're not going to be athletic enough to just dominate one-on-one wise. So we're going to have to be very good as a group and work as one.
What does buy-in look like for kids this age?
It's different with each kid, you know. But I'll be honest, I got to give these kids some props. I mean, I've had, even with the football, I have about a dozen football kids, and all fall and summer we had 12 to 15 kids 3 days a week in the weight room, you know, working, getting shots up on their free time. The kids have wanted it. I'll give them that. They've bought in. They've understood that it's a big step going from the levels they've played, freshman, JV, even got a couple middle school because it's a couple freshmen playing with us. They know that the speed of the game is going to change, and they've bought in. They know they got to take that next step. And it takes work. It takes a lot of work.
It's kind of the double-edged sword you get with the team you had last year. A lot of seniors. You guys made it to the state semis, a great team, but then they all move on. So you say inexperienced, but as far as inexperience in game time, a lot of these guys, at least some of them, have that experience of getting down to Charleston, playing on what's got to be one of the best stretches in East Fairmont history of basketball.
Sure.
So what did they gain? You know, you look at Cole, you look at Logan, some of those guys. What did they gain from that experience?
Yeah, Cole, Logan, River, they all got to be on the team dressed to go down. Cole got some minutes, some limited minutes. But I think just practicing against those guys. I mean, last year, you know, Cole and River were great scout guys for that team. You know, down the stretch late in the year, when you're prepping for teams like that, you're playing against some really good players. So just working working on having guys to scout against that and giving our older guys a good look, that was good for them. Just to do that every day, competing against those guys, they know what it takes to be at that level. They played against them every day in practice, the team that was at that level. So they understand.
When you're going against Jackson Crusoe every day in practice,
that's
got to make you a lot better.
Maddox Boyers, when he gets up in you, man, it's a kid can play some defense. So Cole's had to do that for a full couple years now, dealing with him up in his grill every day. So that definitely helps. You don't see too many defenders like Maddox.
So you take over for Coach Ty. Ty was here, 21 years, I think Beck said, synonymous with the East Fairmont basketball program since the turn of the century. How much of his coaching is present in what you're trying to do?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I played for him. I coached under him. So he's rubbed off on me in a big way. Just his dedication is probably the thing that really sticks out. People don't understand how much he did for this program on a daily basis. Just not in the X's and O's or on game nights, but the behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, he lived and breathed this program. And that was a great example that he set for me as a player and then now as a coach under him. Just what it takes. It's more than just coaching. You know, these kids, you mean a lot to these kids, and you get them to be in that adulthood time. So just the dedication. I mean, every day, putting in the work, the grind, when it's good, when it's bad, you still got to put the work in no matter what. So he was a very good example in that regard.
So outside of just having to talk to me and the media more, what has been different for you? What going from the assistant to the head coach, what are some of the things maybe you didn't expect that you were going to have to deal with that now are on your plate?
It's definitely all the non-basketball stuff. That's been definitely a change. You know, it used to be under him, he let me just coach. So I just showed up every day and I coached. You know what I mean? I just got to do basketball stuff. Now I got to deal with the day-to-day booster stuff, just bus trips, and then getting ready for overnight trips that we got coming up, scheduling JV games, dealing with cancellations or not canceling games. Last night was a mess with the Tucker County scrimmage. Thank God we got it in. But just you don't realize how much you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis until you take that 6-inch step over to that seat, and then everything lies on your shoulders, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Have you liked it?
Yeah, I mean, I have. I've enjoyed it. With running the business and that, because I'm not a teacher, so I have a business to run every day. So it's been tricky juggling that, and learning to juggle that time has been a challenge. But I enjoy it. I just love basketball and everything that comes with it. So and anything I can do to help the kids, it makes it worth it. Gwentire, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to assume. Sure. I already got you confused with your brother earlier tonight. But how has being running a business every day kind of prepared you for this? I mean, Tires and high school boys are a little bit different, but there's got to be some similarities.
It's funny, there really is. Dealing with employees, and dealing with kids, there's more similarities than people realize. And what's funny is, I coached with the football program for 5 years. I now have 2 of my ex-players that work for me. But you learn how to manage people, and that's the big thing. There's kids, people. You just learn how to manage it and how to get the best out of them. Whether it's you're running a business, you got a group of guys that you got to find a way to get the most out of.
Yeah.
Running a basketball program, you got a group of kids that you got to find a way to get the most out of them. So there is some correlation for sure. And then the booster side of it is also an advantage, being in the business side of it and trying to figure out how to raise some money for the program. So, but there's definitely been some help from running a business and then bringing it over to running a program for sure.
Looking at your schedule this year, you open up North Marion at home next week. Always a good game. Coach Harbert puts together a good well-coached squad every year.
Sure.
The road trips you have this year are kind of unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, and just the way your schedule balances out, you got 6 of your first 8 are on the road, and those road trips, you're not going to Grafton or Lincoln.
No.
You got Hampshire, Philip Barber down at West Virginia State. Then you're in Summersville for a pair of games, and then you go across town to Westside. But kind of thrown right into the fire. I said 6 of your first 8, but you've got 9 of your first 12
it's
on the road. How did that play out?
Well, I mean, the schedule, with Ty being done, Beck had to do a really good job to step up as the AD and get a schedule made, because by the time they made the hire, most teams' schedules are done.
Right.
So Beck did a really good job and stepped up and got the schedule the best he could. And we wanted to downgrade the schedule a little bit. We knew we had a really good group these last few years, so we did. We pushed the schedule a little bit and played some bigger schools. Not that I don't think this group could have handled it, but I think it was the right move to take a step back, and that involved going on the road some, and that's okay. We went to Tucker County last night, and that was a big reason I loved that scrimmage, because it was a long, rough ride.
Yeah.
And then you got to get there, and you got to show up, and you got to play a quality opponent. And we got a lot of those, Hampshire, Frankfurt, that are going to be those similar trips where it's a long trip, and then when you show up, you got to find a way to get ready and play.
Talk about long trips. You got a young, inexperienced team. That's a kind of bonding opportunity, I think you could say. Being on those trips, you get more opportunities to talk to the kids while you're on the bus. Coach Jones, Blaster, Astorino, they can all, teach and be in those moments. Can you gain something by I think you eliminate a little distraction going on the road sometimes.
Sometimes I like being on the road. It's just you and then nobody else, right? You're either on the bus or then you're in the locker room, but just you and your group,
Yep.
Sometimes I think it's easier to dial in. The noise isn't so much. When you're here, you got people in the stands, a lot more people around. When you're there, it's more of a little strict routine, right? You get there on the bus, you're on the bus, with just you. You show up, you get to the locker room, and you get ready, But, yeah, I don't mind it. And it preps you for Charleston. We don't get to play our state tournament at home. It's not like football where you got a chance to win and play your state tournament games at home. We got to go on the road to do what we want to do. So it's you'd like to have home games, but at the same time, I think you learn a little bit more about your kids and your team by going on the road.
Schematically, as far as you got a different talent set than they had last year. You can't run everything through 41, whether it's at the high post or down low. How much of your schematics are kind of leaning on Cole's leadership, Logan's shooting, and some of the other guys? Are you adapting your offensive play calls to your talent, or are you trying to fit your talent into what you guys do?
No, I think that's something I've always said. High school coaches, if you can't adjust to your kids, you're in the wrong. You have to adjust to what talent you have. In the last couple of years, we have been blessed with a couple really, really great low post threats with Grayson and Jackson, Ian. And we don't have those kids right now.
Yeah.
We don't have that low post, but we do have some guards that can really get to the rim. We got some kids that can shoot the rock. So we have to adapt a little bit to what they do well. We want to put our kids in the best position to what they do well to succeed. And that's going to be some adjustments. That's going to be changing some things. Not saying we won't run some sets that we've done in the past, but we've got to mold what we're doing to the kids we have and the talent they have.
So what's that look like? More 5-out, more drive and kick, things of that nature?
There's going to be a lot more spread. We'll still play some 4-out, 1-in, but it's going to be a lot of driving, attack and kick, dribble drive. We want to get in the paint. Well, last year we always, the last couple of years we preached we want to play inside out from throwing it in and then playing through a post. It still wants to be inside out. It's just going to be a little different how we get there. We want to get there with the dribble drive and then still get touches in the paint and then play inside out that way.
Defensively, last year you had, again, we talk about him again, but Jackson was a great player. You had your guards maybe could take a few more chances between Maddox and Blake out there. Good on-ball defenders, but could be a little more aggressive because they know, all right, we can funnel that into the paint. We're going to be okay. Without that low-post presence, do you anticipate maybe extending the defense out a little bit, maybe going more zone, doing those sorts of things to make up for the lack of size?
We're definitely going to have to play with it. Now, I've been with the scrimmages. I've been really impressed. We have an incoming freshman that's got our biggest size, and his shot blocking ability has been very good in the 2 scrimmages. I mean, I think he had a handful of blocks in both scrimmages. And his name's Jackson as well, actually. But he gives us a little bit of that rim protection. And again, he's a freshman, so he's not a senior, but he is well beyond his years, especially in that area. Offensively, he's still got some room to grow, but defensively, he is well beyond his years as far as protecting the paint. So we still have that a little bit of rim presence. We're not completely lacking in that regard. But, yeah, we're still going to have to find ways to be creative, to get some pressure, do some trapping, get out and transition a little bit, maybe play some zones to help match up a little bit, defend the rim a little bit. But, again, it's going to be – last year we knew we had that back-end rim protect. We got to be as a group. We really have to find a way as 5 to really rotate well, help each other, talk, communicate. That's going to be a big key. Young kids, one of the things they struggle with the most to me is talking. And we're working hard on that right now as we've got to communicate at every step to help each other, right? Help each other play as a group and as a unit.
What are in our final 45 seconds? What are the expectations for this group?
Look, hey, when we talked about it, when we show up, we want to be to Charleston, right? That's where the ultimate goal is. I don't care what we lost. Our ultimate goal is to find a way to get to Charleston. And I've talked to our kids. Will it be a different road than we've had the last year? Probably. We may not be favored to win. We might take some losses early in the year. But we have a young group that's going to gain experience each game. We have to find ways to where come late February, early March, we are playing the best basketball we can play.
You like the new regional setup, no sectionals? Do you like that?
I do. I really wish it was in 2 years ago, because 2 years ago we wouldn't have to go on the road if that had been the case. But I do. I think it favors, because it's not fair. And I'm not saying the rule, but if you go 20-2, you shouldn't have to go on the road to get to Charleston.
Yep.
And that's good. Whether it favors me this year or doesn't, I'm glad, because the best teams should deserve to get a home court to get to Charleston.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we wrap up our varsity inter-squad scrimmages there. Coach Carter DeVault, thanks so much for joining us. And good talk. And hey, we'll be here for home games, few road games throughout the year. So we'll be talking to you throughout.
Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. As we wrap up here at Midnight Madness, closing things out a little bit early as we had a little change to the schedule. And, Josh, I had a great time talking to our coaches, talking to a couple players. I think what we've seen from this group from 6th grade all the way through the varsity is there's a lot of buy-in, there's a lot of enthusiasm around this community, and there's a lot of cohesion kind of top to bottom regardless of what program we're talking about.
I think that's exactly right, Sean. I really like how you word that. There is a lot of buy-in. There's a lot of excitement from the younger levels for what they have seen out of the varsity team here the last couple of years. There's been so much success. The younger players want to be part of that success. They know it's possible.
Yeah.
And they have seen what it takes to do it. I love the players, even the varsity players, the excitement they have for themselves. But when you see it in the younger players, that's how you know you're building something special.
And we're going to get to see a lot of new faces this year. The boys, we have Maddox Boyers, Grayson Stewart, Jackson Crusoe, Blake Hunt. Got a lot of kids moving on, and I know I'm missing some. And some new players stepping up into new roles. On the girls' side, you graduate Kenley Rogers. I mean, she's one of 3 first-team All-State players who's ever put the uniform on. So a huge piece to replace, and I think it's exciting to get to be in that spot where we can have, some new players making an impact.
So often it's said, those are big shoes to fill, and a lot of times that has some negative weight to it, but I don't feel that with either of these programs here. I think we did lose some great seniors, but I also think that there are some juniors, sophomores, current seniors ready to step up, and they want to put those shoes on regardless of how big they may seem. I have a feeling they're going to be a pretty good fit.
So wrapping things up here from Midnight Madness, up for the boys next that I'll have the broadcast for is going to be next Tuesday, December 10th, a home game against the North Marion Huskies, and Josh will fill you in on his next broadcast.
We're going to be here Wednesday night, 1 week from tonight, against Grafton. That's a 7:30 tip right here at East Fairmont. A lot of the players on our girls team very excited about that game, looking forward to it. It's sort of a natural rivalry as far as the geography is concerned. Both programs are familiar with each other well. I think Grafton also was under the impression they're going to have a strong team this year, so it should be a great matchup.
You can catch that on the East Fairmont Sports Network. Thanks to John for running the board for us tonight, and thanks for all of you for tuning in. We'll see you